Kenyans are set to benefit from improved internet access, lower connectivity costs, and enhanced digital services following the launch of the Africa Broadband Mapping System.
Imagine this. Africa's digital transformation just hit superdrive, and it all started with a major leap from one country, Nigeria. Yes, Nigeria, bold, ambitious, African, and now the first continent-wide pioneer to launch the Africa-BB-Maps Broadband Initiative. What does that mean for connectivity, innovation, education, and our collective future? Stick with me. I promise it's going to feel like you're right at the edge of tomorrow. Today, we're diving into a momentous milestone. Nigeria becoming the first African country to launch the Africa-BB-Maps Broadband Initiative. Why is that such a big deal? What's behind the name Africa-BB-Maps, and how might this ripple out across the continent, and maybe even globally? So let's set the stage. Picture Africa, home to over 1.4 billion people, rich with diversity, bursting with potential. Yet, despite its creativity and drive, much of the continent still grapples with patchy or slow internet access. Many communities lag in broadband delivery, which means real limitations on jobs, schools, health clinics, businesses, and so much more. But now, I'm excited to say, that narrative is beginning to flip. Because Nigeria, yes, Nigeria, has just launched what might be the most visionary broadband initiative Africa has ever seen. Africa-BB-Maps. A bold move, yes, but let me break it down in a way that's easy to follow and inspiring. What is Africa-BB-Maps?
The Nations Authority has launched the Africa Broadband Mapping Systems, a continental initiative aimed at expanding internet connectivity and promoting digital inclusion.
Africa just unlocked a digital revolution. Kenya has launched the continent's first ever broadband mapping system, a move that could reshape education, healthcare, and business for millions. Backed by the EU and ITU, it's a bold step toward bridging the digital divide. You might be wondering, that's a heck of a name. What does it even mean? Well, here's the unpacking. B stands for broadband, fast, reliable internet that goes beyond just okay speeds. Maps signals two things: a literal mapping component, identifying underserved areas and pressing gaps. A metaphorical map, a roadmap guiding where broadband needs to go, strategically and equitably. So, Africa-BB-Maps is more than just laying cables. It's a data-driven, strategic deployment of broadband, aiming to reach urban centers, suburbs, and remote villages, especially places that have been invisible on most connectivity maps. Nigeria, they rolled it out first. Think massive digital dashboards, mapping tools, public transparency, data sharing, and then bold partnerships to build and share infrastructure. It's like putting together a citywide puzzle where every piece gets a digital connection. Why Nigeria first? Why Nigeria?
Nigeria reaffirms its leadership in Africa's digital future, boldly aligning with the global push to make universal broadband access a reality. This bold move could transform connectivity and close the digital divide across the continent. But what does this mean for the millions of Africans who are still offline? What is Africa-BB mapping all about? Why it matters? The tech behind it? And how does this fit into Nigeria's broader digital transformation ambitions? Stay tuned to find out the details. For more videos and updates on business, innovation, and lifestyle technology,
well, let me walk you through a few key reasons that make this move so smart and kind of inevitable. Population powerhouse. Nigeria is Africa's most populous country, over 216 million people. Hosting such a massive population, Nigeria has always felt the urgency to scale broadband. More people equals more pressure to connect. Economic energy. With the continent's biggest economy, they've got a big budget and tons of momentum. Tech hubs are booming in Lagos, Abuja, and beyond. Mobile money, e-commerce, startups. This is where innovation is already rolling fast. Leadership vision. Nigerian policymakers and digital ministers have been laser-focused on tech for development, putting broadband at the center. Global partnerships. Nigeria's built strong ties with multinationals, NGOs, and international agencies. Africa-BB-Maps didn't happen in isolation. It's been crafted with advice, tech, and funds from across the world. Bottom line, Nigeria had the population, economy, and political will to kick off this initiative. making it the natural launchpad for a continent-scale vision. What makes Africa-BB-Maps unique?
Are very clear on the place of broadband empowering our economy and our intention to achieve that goal. As a regional leader in ICT, Kenya has firmly positioned itself on the path towards a digital future with ambitions on broadband penetration by 2030, prioritizing unserved and underserved communities that have historically been left behind in terms of digital connectivity. This commitment reflects a broader vision to harness technology to transform our lives and drive inclusion and national development. And I think DG spoke to the 1,450 digital hubs that, in fact, the current government is actually...
Okay, so we've got a name, a rationale, and leadership. But what really sets Africa-BB-Maps apart? Let's dive into the unique innovations embedded in it. This is where it gets really exciting. 1. Data-driven mapping. Imagine interactively tracking which towns, schools, or hospitals are connected, and, just as importantly, which are still offline. That level of insight enables targeted deployment. No guesswork, no blind spots. 2. Public portal plus transparency. Africa-BB-Maps includes a user-friendly portal where citizens, NGOs, investors, and governments can check connectivity levels. You can visually understand who's connected and who's not, region by region. 3. Tailored infrastructure models. Some places will thrive with fiber optic networks. Others need satellite or wireless networks. Africa-BB-Maps isn't one size fits all. It's contextual. Urban zones, high-speed fiber, rural terrain, maybe last-mile wireless or satellite, or a mesh approach. Multi-stakeholder collaboration. This initiative brings together private ISPs, local tech startups, global telcos, Ministry of Communications, and NGOs. Roles are shared, risks divided, but benefits are meant to be widespread. 4. Smart financing and sustainability. There's a blended financing model: government grants, development funding, private capital, community microfinancing. The goal, not just build once, but maintain, upgrade, scale, and replicate across the continent sustainably. On-the-ground impact in Nigeria. Let's get human. How is this impacting real people in Nigeria, right now or in the near future? Rural schools and learning. Imagine a tiny village school that used to be totally offline. Teachers just had textbooks, no Google, no YouTube tutorials, until now. With broadband, now kids can join remote classes, access digital libraries, even learn coding from afar. Entrepreneurs and e-commerce. In towns like Kano, Enugu, and Ibadan, entrepreneurs are launching online shops, freelancing, offering services, connecting to global clients, all thanks to stable broadband. Telehealth and clinics. Clinics in remote zones are now beginning to send patient data to urban specialists. Teleconsultations are becoming realistic, not just a dream. Government-to-citizen services. People can access birth certificate applications, licenses, tax filings, even grievance services online without long, costly trips into city offices. Youth and innovation. Digital creativity is exploding. Apps, local games, storytelling platforms, informed and powered by newfound connectivity. It's not abstract, it's tangible change, and this is only the beginning. These initial pilots are already shifting lives. Broader implications across Africa. Nigeria's first, but this has the potential to cascade across the continent. Template for other nations: Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, Rwanda. They're watching. Africa-BB-Maps is effectively a connectivity blueprint others can adapt without reinventing the wheel. Regional integration. As more countries adopt similar models, regional cross-border broadband corridors could emerge, boosting trade, coordination, and information flow. Digital inclusion and equity. If Africa-BB-Maps goes continent-wide, we're talking equitable digital access. Urban and rural, rich and poor, north and south. That changes the development equation. Innovation ecosystems. With dense, reliable broadband across key routes or hubs, local innovators, think drone logistics, fintech, remote education, AI, can thrive in their own countries, not just in Western hubs. Global investment magnet. A connected, mapped, transparent Africa is going to look a lot more attractive to investors. International capital sees delivered infrastructure, reduced risk, better planning, challenges and questions. Hold on, so is this all sunshine and rainbows? Not quite. Let's unpack some real challenges. In a conversational way, not lecturing, but thinking aloud. Funding and financing gaps. Will blended finance be enough to scale all the way across Nigeria's 774 local government areas and later to the rest of Africa? Corruption and governance. Is public transparency enough to prevent leakages, misuse, or project delays? Maintenance and upkeep. Building is one thing. Maintaining infrastructure, upgrading over time, powering reliability is another. Digital literacy and inclusion. Connectivity is necessary. But are people trained or supported to use it meaningfully? Will vulnerable groups, women, refugees, remote farmers benefit fully? The domino effect across Africa. When one country leads with bold innovation, others don't stay behind for long. Across Africa, nations are already buzzing. Kenya, known as the Silicon Savannah, is eyeing Africa-BB-Maps as a model to scale its own broadband dreams. Rwanda, a pioneer in digital governance, wants to integrate the mapping tool into its ambitious smart city plans. South Africa, with its tech hubs in Cape Town and Johannesburg, sees the potential for a connected regional economy. This is the domino effect at work, one bold move triggering others, until an entire continent is digitally linked in ways that felt impossible just a decade ago. Global ripples and partnerships. Here's the thing. When Africa gets connected, the whole world feels the impact. Think about it, global businesses suddenly see hundreds of millions of new online consumers. Universities can offer remote learning programs to African students without worrying about bandwidth limitations. Tech giants, yes, the Googles and Microsofts of the world, can launch local innovation labs powered by African talent. This isn't charity, it's partnership, and it's going to reshape trade, education, healthcare, and research on a scale we've barely begun to imagine. The human side of a digital future.
Innovation is rewriting the rules of global commerce. This is Africa reinventing itself as a hub of creativity, resilience, and boundless opportunity. For centuries, Africa has been a cradle of culture, ingenuity, and trade. Yet, in the modern era, the continent faced a unique set of challenges: rapid urbanization, infrastructural hurdles. In the digital revolution sweeping across Africa, every success, every setback, and every breakthrough is a testament to the indomitable spirit of its people. This is a story of transformation, a story of a continent that is redefining its destiny by embracing innovation.
But let's get real for a moment. Tech stories often get lost in jargon. Broadband, satellites, infrastructure. Here's the truth. The magic isn't in the cables. It's in the lives those cables change. A teenager in rural Nigeria using online courses to become a software developer. A mother getting tele-health consultations for her child without traveling for hours. A small farmer accessing real-time weather data to protect crops from droughts. That's the heartbeat of Africa-BB-Maps. It's not just about connectivity. It's about dignity, opportunity, and hope, a continent on the edge of a digital renaissance. And here's the part that gives me chills. Africa is standing on the edge of a digital renaissance, and Nigeria just lit the first torch. Think about history for a second. The printing press transformed Europe. The Industrial Revolution reshaped economies. The internet turned small startups into global empires. Now, Africa is writing its own chapter, on its own terms. Because when you combine broadband connectivity with Africa's youthful population, its creativity, and its hunger for innovation, you're looking at the birth of something massive. Something that could change global narratives forever. This isn't just about catching up with the rest of the world. This is about leapfrogging, skipping old stages of development, and going straight into a future built on ideas, technology, and connection. And when that happens, new businesses, new industries, new leaders, all powered by the simple idea that everyone, everywhere, deserves a fast, reliable way to be part of the global conversation. Let's pause and step back together. Think of where you feel that spark. Isn't it electrifying to imagine that a kid in a remote Nigerian village can now join a class streamed live from Lagos? That a small-town artisan can sell handmade crafts to New York buyers? That a clinic can consult a specialist miles away? This isn't futuristic. It's happening now. And it started because Nigeria said yes to bold mapping, bold partnerships, and bold connectivity. It's not just about cables. It's about possibility, connection, and change. What you can do? Okay, so that sparks your curiosity. Then what? Here are friendly, down-to-earth ways anyone watching can engage. Stay informed, follow credible updates about Africa-BB-Maps and its rollout, support local innovators, check out Nigerian startups, share their stories. Encourage open data, ask governments to keep progress visible, transparent. Advocate digital inclusion, push for resources to teach digital literacy in your community. Share the vision, talk about these stories, spark conversations about how broadband transforms lives. Here's the big dream. Imagine a continent where every child, every innovator, every entrepreneur is just one click away from the world. So what's the bottom line? Nigeria has just pulled off something historic, launching Africa-BB-Maps, the first bold mapped strategic broadband rollout in Africa. It's not just wires and signals, it's opportunity, learning, innovation, and hope. A bold step for Nigeria and a giant leap toward a digitally empowered Africa. This moment, it's your moment to pay attention, to feel that rush of possibility, because broadband alone doesn't build the future. But when we connect people, when we give light to ideas, voices, dreams, that's how we begin to rewrite a continent's story. Here's to a future where every mind, every village, every city has a chance to join the conversation. If you felt that spark, if you feel hopeful, inspired, or even just plain curious, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, share this video with someone who could use some good news inspiration, and drop a comment. What would you do with unlimited, reliable broadband? Because together, we're not just watching history, we're helping write it. Let's connect, create, and keep dreaming big.